You track your macros. You hit the gym 4 times a week. You've even started intermittent fasting. And yet, that belly fat refuses to move. Here's something that might sound strange. What if the problem isn't your discipline? It's that your body never actually gets permission to relax. That's the real story behind cortisol. And today, we're looking at Germany, a country famous for efficiency, structure, and rules, to understand how they accidentally built a lifestyle that protects against chronic stress fat. Here's the piece almost nobody talks about. Cortisol isn't just triggered by big, dramatic stress. It's triggered by low-grade, constant background stress, the kind you don't even notice anymore because you've been marinating in it for years. Checking email at dinner, thinking about tomorrow's meeting while you're supposed to be sleeping, never fully switching off. Dr. Clemens Kirschbaum, one of the world's leading cortisol researchers at Dresden University of Technology, developed the most widely used stress test in psychology. And his research shows that it's not the intensity of a single stressor that does the most damage. It's chronic, unresolved stress that keeps cortisol elevated day after day. And elevated cortisol, over time, doesn't just make you tired. It tells your body to store fat around your abdomen as an energy reserve for a threat that never actually ends. Germany, culturally, has built in hard stops against exactly this. Not through willpower, through structure. Here are the 5 habits behind it. Step 1. Feierabend. It literally translates to celebration evening, but in practice, it means the clean, non-negotiable end of the workday. In German work culture, when the workday ends, it ends. Emails wait. Calls wait. There's even a cultural expectation that contacting a colleague about work after hours is mildly rude. This isn't just a nice to have, it's a cortisol intervention. Your body needs a clear signal that the threat of work has ended in order to down-regulate cortisol production. When that boundary is blurry, when you're perpetually half working, your nervous system never gets the stand-down signal, and cortisol just stays elevated in the background, all evening, all night. So here's how you apply it. Pick a hard stop time, not whenever I finish. A specific time. When it hits, close the laptop, put the phone in another room, and treat the rest of the evening as genuinely, completely off limits to work. Your cortisol needs a visible finish line, not a fade out. Step 2. Wassertreten, or Kneipp water treading. This one comes from Sebastian Kneipp, a 19th century German priest who essentially founded modern hydrotherapy. The practice is simple. Walking through cold water, usually up to your knees, for a minute or two in a specific stork-like stepping motion. It sounds almost too basic to matter, but night clinics across Germany still practice this today, and there's real physiology behind it. Cold water exposure activates your vagus nerve, the primary regulator of your parasympathetic rest and digest system, which directly counters cortisol's fight or flight signaling. Multiple studies on cold water immersion, including research published in the journal Physiology and Behavior, have shown reduced cortisol levels and improved mood following short, controlled cold exposure. You don't need a Kneipp clinic. Ending your shower with 30 to 60 seconds of cold water on your legs replicates the core mechanism. It's uncomfortable. It's also one of the fastest nervous system resets available to you for free. Step 3. Wandern. Structured walking in nature. Germany has an enormous cultural relationship with forests and organized hiking. Entire networks of marked trails called Wanderwege exist specifically so people walk regularly and predictably. Chronobiologist Till Ronenberg at Ludwig Maximilian University of Munich has spent decades researching what he calls social jet lag, the mismatch between your body's natural rhythm and your schedule. And his work links irregular routines, including irregular movement patterns, to elevated stress hormones and metabolic disruption. Regular walks in green, natural environments do something additional, though. Research out of the University of Michigan found that walking in nature specifically, not just walking anywhere, produced significantly greater reductions in cortisol and rumination compared to walking in urban environments. The German habit of scheduled forest walks isn't just cultural tradition. It's a weekly cortisol reset done on autopilot without ever framing it as self-care. Step 4. Ordnung, structured routine. The German cultural emphasis on order and predictability gets joked about constantly, but there's a real stress physiology reason it works. Decision fatigue, the mental exhaustion from making too many small decisions throughout the day, has been shown to elevate cortisol and impair self-control later in the day. When your meals, your schedule, and your environment follow a predictable structure, your brain isn't burning energy deciding what happens next every few minutes. That predictability itself lowers baseline anxiety. This is part of why structured routines are a core recommendation in cognitive behavioral therapy for anxiety disorders. Predictability reduces the nervous system's need to stay on alert. Applying this doesn't mean rigid perfectionism. It means picking 2 or 3 anchor points in your day: wake time, meal times, a wind down time, and keeping them consistent. Your nervous system relaxes when it can predict what's coming next. Step 5. Genussvoll essen. Eating with genuine enjoyment. Germany has a strong cultural relationship with rich, satisfying food. Bread, cheese, sausage, eaten slowly and without guilt, rather than restricted and then binged. This matters more than it sounds. Chronic dietary restriction, constantly telling yourself no, has been shown in research from the University of Toronto to increase cortisol and, paradoxically, increase overeating later, because deprivation itself is a stressor your body responds to. Genussvoll eating means eating foods you actually enjoy in reasonable portions, slowly, and without moralizing every bite as good or bad. The German approach isn't about eating less. It's about removing the constant background stress of restriction, which, ironically, is one of the biggest hidden drivers of stress-related fat storage. So let's bring it all together. 5 habits. Set a hard stop to your workday instead of letting it bleed into your evening. Try cold water treading to reset your nervous system fast. Walk regularly in nature, not just anywhere. Build a predictable daily structure so your brain isn't constantly deciding. And eat with genuine enjoyment instead of constant restriction. None of these require a new diet or a harder workout. They require your nervous system to actually get the signal that the threat is over. Because belly fat isn't just about what you eat or how hard you train. It's about whether your body ever feels safe enough to stop storing for a crisis that isn't really happening. If this changed the way you think about stress and structure, hit the like button. Subscribe if you want more science-backed cultural habits like this. And drop a comment telling me which one of these 5 you're going to try first. I'll see you in the next one.